So yesterday I had to comment on the Queen's passing, and Johnny Rotten's curious line, "She ain't no human being," in his song "God Save the Queen," number one on the British charts, although unacknowledged number one in whatever it was, 77, I think. But I actually had some further thoughts on the video that I recorded 2 days ago, which was where I showed y'all Putin's speech in 2013, in which he talks about Western leaders and trends in Western culture today, how faith in God is seen as equivalent to believing in Satan, how all forms of sexuality, including pedophilia, are being legitimized, and other such things. And it made me remember something else, which is, I remember that, I don't know what year it was, although I could easily go back and look it up and find out, and I probably will as soon as I finish recording this. But I think it was maybe sometime in the late aughts, or the early tens, sometime around there, when Putin made it a policy that Russian orphan children could no longer be adopted by American parents. And I remember this because a schoolmate of my son's, a friend of my son's, and his brother were actually one of the last to be adopted, or maybe in the last year or the last couple of years, they were some of the last children to be adopted out of Russia before this policy was put into place by Putin. And I remember there's a few connecting threads to when this occurred. There was a Georgia state senator named Nancy Schaefer. She was just this nice Southern lady, like in her 50s, just just sort of, if you lived in suburban Atlanta, you met a ton of ladies who gave off the same kind of vibe, the same kind of demeanor, and had the same kind of look that this woman had. And she was, just a conservative Republican state senator. But what became a consuming thing for her, a crusade, if you will, was that she was convinced that Child Protective Services was really doing foster children and adopted children, what at-risk children in general, was really doing them a grave disservice. And she was even saying that they were letting children be adopted out to known pedophiles, purposely doing this. These were the things that she was saying. These were the things that this Georgia state senator, Nancy Schaefer, was talking about. In 2010, this woman, Nancy Schaefer, died in a what was claimed afterward to be a murder-suicide. It was claimed that her husband shot her and then shot himself. Now, this just didn't seem, this is what they found to be the case. This is what the GBI determined what had happened. But it's just, number one, you see this lady, and I know not everybody can be judged by how they come across, by their demeanor. I know that. I know this isn't hard proof of anything. But this was not the kind of person who would die in a murder-suicide. Okay, or not someone that you would at all suspect to be in the kind of marriage that would end in a murder-suicide. She was just this nice, traditional, Southern lady. I don't know. Just go back and watch videos of her, and maybe you'll see what I mean. And I just, I think, and a lot of people think, it was really very suspiciously convenient that at the very time that she was criticizing this institution of government, Child Protective Services, and making these kind of accusations about them, against them. And to the best of my knowledge, she wasn't sued by them. They didn't say that she was slandering them. But then suddenly she ups and dies in what gets called a murder-suicide. So that's 2010. And right around that time is when Putin suspended this, made it so that Russian children could not be adopted by American parents. And I remember thinking at the time, well, that's really kind of a shame. They're children in need, like my son's friend, and who were, and he was adopted to a nice married couple and got a good upbringing, better than he would have likely gotten in a Russian orphanage. So it seemed at the time, and this was before my awakening, I guess, before my red pilling. So I didn't connect the dots at all, and I didn't even know about Nancy Schaefer. I wasn't aware enough at the time. I didn't follow anything surrounding her story. But now, it's hard not to see how all of these things connect. Putin giving this speech in 2013, one of the things that he mentions is the legitimization of pedophilia in the West. And of course, America, the United States of America, is the heart of the West. It is the leader of the West, for better or for worse. And so at the same time that this Georgia state senator dies mysteriously, I would say very mysteriously, highly suspiciously, in the so-called murder-suicide, after she was on this crusade where she was just lashing the Child Protective Services institution for how badly children were being handled and treated, and how again she accused them of being in league with pedophiles. This happens. Her death, her strange death, happens right around the same time that Putin makes this decree that Russian children can't be adopted by American parents, and then a short time later gives this speech about the declining, let us say, spiritual mores of the West. So now it's hard not to see how all those things really do fit together. I'm not saying this is definitive proof of anything, but it's like, dot, 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 dot. Oh, you connect the dots. Now I see the constellation that's forming. So that's just some further thoughts that were provoked by watching Putin's speech from 2 days ago. And again, if you haven't seen that yet, go back and watch that video and see what he has to say in that speech. Get it from the horse's mouth, as it were. Thanks for watching. Talk to y'all soon.